Hey there, good afternoon everybody. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, here we are. We're going with an album that is Monday night look back at a classic rock album, and the one we're going with this week is one that it's been in my playlist about 5 months. I've actually knew some of the tracks before, but I've become very familiar with it now, and I like it a lot, and it's growing on me every week. And that's Paul Simon album, his second studio album, self-titled. Came out roughly about 7 years after his first solo album, which came out in '65. During that time period, of course, he was involved with Art Garfunkel, and they were doing their thing together. Then they had broken up, and then he came out with this album. So, basically, I'm going to give you the details of the album and then talk about the album. That's what we do here on Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. Actually, I don't need these right away. I don't know. Sometimes I just pick things up and try to put them on. I don't even need them. Okay, so this was released on January 24th, 1972. So right at the beginning of the year on the CBS studios in San Francisco. It was also recorded at CBS in New York City, Western and Hollywood, the Dynamic Sound in Kingston, Jamaica, and the Studio CBE in Paris, France. So it was recorded in quite a few locations and eventually put together and released on the 24th of January. It's about 34 minutes long, which is a little lower than I generally like. And to be honest, a couple more songs would have been nice on here, but what we had here was good. It was good for me. So on the Columbia Warner Brothers label, and produced by Paul Simon and Roy Halley. So very good, solid album. Lots of people on this album. Probably as many people on this album as you get on a lot of these modern albums now. So we got Paul Simon on vocals. I'm just going to put it down for a minute. Paul Simon on vocals, acoustic guitar, and percussion. You have Larry Knechtel on piano, electric piano, harmonium, and organ. Neville Hines on organ. Hawks, I think it's pronounced Hawks, H-O-X. I never heard this, or Hawks. It might be Hawks. Maybe it's Hawks. Hawks Brown, lead guitar. Wallace Wilson on rhythm guitar, Los Incas on the cariango and percussion and flute. You've got Jerry Hahn on electric guitar, David Spinzer on acoustic guitar, Stephanie Grossman on bottleneck guitar, Jackie Jackson on bass, Ron Carter on double bass. Russell George on bass, Joe Osborne on bass, Winston Grennan on drums, Hal Blaine on drums, Denzel Lang on percussion, Mike Manieria on vibraphone, Airto Morira on percussion, Fred Lipsius on alto sax, John Scherzer on tenor and baritone sax, and then you got Steve Turry on tambourine, Charlie McCoy on bass and harmonica, or bass harmonica, I think that's what it's supposed to be, Stephen Grappel on violin, Cissy Houston on backing vocals, Vern Eva Sting on backing vocals, Rosetta Strawn on backing vocals, and Dieter Talk on backing vocals. So a lot of people basically all doing like one-off tracks here and there, a little bit here from them, a little bit there, everybody doing a little bit on each track. And filling this out, but all the vocals, of course, lead vocal parts are all done by Paul Simon on this album. So, having said all that, this is a really good album. Like, for me, one of the byproducts of doing these, not just the reviews, but the whole channel in general, is that when I came into doing this, I knew quite a bit about music, but I didn't really know what my interests really were because I just listened to stuff as I went along. I never chronicalized it all, or wrote down what I like, or kind of studied anything major about it. But since I've been on here, I've discovered that I have this real like for folk music. I didn't realize it. It should have been obvious if you look at the stuff I listened to before. There's quite a bit of folk in it. This is very folky. This has a lot of folky sound to it. It has that kind of poppy rock stuff too that Paul Simon's become known for. But there's quite a bit more of folk on this album too. So you got Mother and the Child Reunion. This is maybe the biggest song on the album. Possibly the biggest song on the album. Really good. Opens up really well. Some nice little acoustic guitar stuff on this one. Duncan, another decent track on here. Everything Put Together Falls Apart. That's a typical Paul Simon song where he's very wordy sometimes in his stuff. A little bit like Peter Gabriel that way. They're both very wordy in their descriptions, and this is one of those songs that falls into that. Run That Body Down, another decent track. Armistice Day is a good one. Me and Julio, Down by the Schoolyard. This is one of the more classic songs on this album. Kind of a little bit more upbeat tempo type pop song. Not something that he could have done easily with Art Garfunkel, but it's really good here. Peace like a River, another good one. Papa Hobo, Hobo's Blues, Paranoia Blues. Both the blues ones are really kind of folky blues, a real touch to them. And Congratulations, which is the final track from the original album on here. Good. And then you've got some bonus tracks on here. Me and Julio, Down by the Schoolyard. It's kind of a reversioned demo version of it. So it's not really a reversion, it's a demo version of it. So it was the original, I guess, is what they're trying to say. Duncan is also the same. And then there's Paranoia Blues, which is this is an unreleased version, not on the original and never released before. I'm put on here as a second. So back of the album is really good. That's all your writing right there for the list of songs. In here, it's got a little booklet as well with all the lyrics and the album, of course. So, an excellent album by Paul Simon Status. I got into Paul Simon back in 1986 when his Graceland album came out. That's what drew me to him. Before that, I had heard stuff on the radio here and there by him and Art Garfunkel and him together. But I never really owned anything by him until I started collecting, until after Graceland. And then after Graceland, there was this huge volume of space until I got to this channel and then started listening to this stuff. And so now I've got several of his albums. This is the one that's in the playlist right now. Excellent album. If you like that folky kind of poppy flavor to your music, or you like a little bit of that as something different, as opposed, like I listen to prog quite a bit, and sometimes metal, sometimes hard rock, some upbeat kind of poppy stuff as well. But I also like this stuff, and Neil Young and that, Art Garfunkel and Simon together. I like that as well. So this is an excellent album, though. I think definitely well worth giving it a listen to. If you like that kind of stuff, you'll find this really pleasing. So so I'm glad that you showed up today. It's been another nice album review. So please hit the like and subscribe. That's much appreciated. If you want to leave any comments in the comment section below, you can do that. It's right below. If you have anything to say about the album, please do so. That'd be stuff. It's always interesting in these old albums. There's little things about them you don't know, and then somebody knows it and they pop it on your thing. Okay, I never knew that, but it makes sense, right? So anyways, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified. So next week we will be back here Monday night doing another Monday night look back at a classic rock album. We have another show starting tomorrow night. It'll be its first episode, which is called Album Sides. I'm looking forward to this. We're going to be doing the Rush Farewell to Kings album. That will be the inaugural episode. And then we also have several other shows going on throughout the week, including favorites, which will be something I've thought about doing for a bit, but I wanted to wait till I got into 2024 to do it. And so we're going to do my 25 favorite bands that I discovered on this venue, on this channel, since I've been doing this channel from being on YouTube. So hopefully you'll show up for that as well, and I look forward to seeing you. So have yourself a good night, and we'll see you later. Take care. Goodbye.